All right, this lesson originally started out as something kind of long, but I think that after I taught it the way I have and I had to kind of go against my notes, although the start works, sometimes your typical method of factoring does not work. This section presents a moment where there are four terms. Because this number of terms, we cannot use we can use the four steps instead, but again, we're going to use grouping. We've been using grouping the whole time anyway, so ignore these words. Because everything I'm going to talk about is what you saw. It talks about the first step of grouping is splitting the problem. I think we've done that before. Whenever we've split all these down the middle, so we know about that. Once you split the problem, you factor out the GCF of each part. Again, I'm not going to work that out because I know for a fact that we've done that. So again, if we were to do this, we'd say, you know what, that's 5 and x squared, and etc., etc. And we will see it, but the difference is these questions are actually made to be a little bit different, and in the end we end up with the same factor inside of the parentheses. What I mean by that is you end up with like something like 2x and 2x plus 3 and then plus 1 times 2x plus 3, and then we take those two things off. So I am going to jump straight to the actual problem so you can see what I mean by all this. Now, what we want to make sure we understand here is that the first thing we are supposed to check for is a GCF. And when I look at this, 9, 3, 6, and 2 can't be divided by the same thing, but all of these have at least one x. So the first thing we want to do is take off an x. So we end up with 9x to the third plus 3x squared plus 6x plus 2. And what I'm going to do now, again, to keep things nice, is ignore this x and work only with this. We've worked with four terms before. We still do the same thing, split down the middle. We look at 9x squared and 9x to the third, 3x squared. We know we can take off a 3. And the difference here is that we can actually take off 2 x's. And we are left with 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 3 is gone. X squareds are gone, so put a 1. Copy the sign. 6 and 2 both divide by 2. And of course, you're going to be left with 3x plus 1. Just do a quick check. 2 times 3x, 6. 2 times 1, 3, or 2. So now we're going to pull off the 3x plus 1 like we have before. We're going to be left with 3x squared plus 2. Just don't forget that there is an x in front of all that, and that is the only difference that you need to be careful about. Make sure you check for that GCF, because if you don't, you'll end up with something kind of weird and it won't really work out like you want it to. But again, the grouping process is the same, and the good news is this is the last lesson and it's something you already kind of know how to do. You just have to adjust it. Once again, looking at this, 6, 4, 3, 2 has nothing in common. That's good. They don't have any x's. Let's split it down the middle. 6 and 4 can both be divided by 2. 3 x's, 2 x's, which means we can pull off 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Copy the sign. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 x's, took 2 off. That's gone. Copy the plus sign. 3 and 2 have nothing in common, so remember we have to put a 1 there. Can't take off any x's, but I know I'm going to end up with 3x minus 2, but again, that's the same thing as what's there. So then we pull off the 3x minus 2, and we're left with 2x squared plus 1. And that is all. Again, not bad. Just be careful. Make sure you practice the new style of grouping as it is. And pretty much you're going to do that anytime it says factor and you see 4 terms. You could even do it with 6 terms, because 6 terms could be split into 3 and 3, but we're not going to go that far. Once again, look at this first and see if there's anything you can take out of the numbers. No, but look at this, 4, 3, 2, 1. We can actually take off an x again. And then ignore the x as we factor this as usual. The numbers here, 14 and 10, can both be divided by 2, and you have at least 2 x's on both. 14 divided by 2, 7. 3 minus 2, 1. Copy the sign. 10 divided by 2, 5. 2 x's, took them both away. There we go. Copy the symbol. 21 and 15 can both be divided by 3. And again, copy what's in front because it's going to be the same. Quick check. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15, so we did it right. So we take off our 7x minus 5. We leave our 2x squared minus 3, and we do not forget that we ignored an x. That has to come down to our answer to finish this off. So once again, that wraps up your test, your information for the chapter. Do not forget Your test must be done on Friday. It is due Friday at midnight. It is not due Monday. It is due Friday at midnight. So when Friday comes up, make sure you take that test and do what you need to do. Outside of that, have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Good luck.